Title: Ledgers of the Heart. In the bustling town of Ijebu Ode stood Mama Bisi's Eatery, a popular roadside restaurant known for its smoky jollof rice, spicy goat meat, and the laughter that floated out of its doors from sunrise to sunset. It was the pride of the community, and also a place where secrets simmered like the pots in the kitchen. When Benjamin Adewale arrived in town, few people knew him. He was quiet, neat, and always carried a small black notebook. He had just been hired as the new auditor for Mama Bisi's business, after rumors of missing funds began to circulate. Benjamin believed in numbers. Numbers didn't lie. People, however, often did. The first meeting. On his first day at the Eatery, Benjamin sat at a corner table, reviewing receipts and ledgers. The place was lively. Plates clanged, customers shouted orders, and the scent of fried plantains hung in the air. That was when he saw her. Jumoke moved gracefully between tables, carrying trays with effortless balance. She wore a simple uniform, but her bright smile lit up the entire room. Customers seemed to linger just to hear her laugh. She noticed Benjamin staring at his papers. "Good afternoon, sir. What would you like to eat?" she asked. Benjamin cleared his throat. "Rice and stew, and maybe a bottle of water." Jumoke smiled. "Only maybe water? You look like someone who needs strength. I'll bring you fruit juice instead." For the first time in weeks, Benjamin smiled. Growing feelings days turned into weeks. Benjamin visited the Eatery often, partly for work, partly for Jumoke. She told him stories about the customers, the staff, and how she came to work there to support her younger siblings. Benjamin admired her honesty and resilience. Jumoke, on the other hand, admired Benjamin's calm nature and kindness. But there was a problem. Jumoke was the niece of Mama Bisi, the owner of the Eatery, and Mama Bisi had already chosen a man she wanted Jumoke to marry, Kunle, the Eatery's manager. Kunle was ambitious, sharp-tongued, and deeply insecure. He had noticed the growing closeness between Benjamin and Jumoke, and he didn't like it. The intrigue. Meanwhile, Benjamin's audit revealed something troubling. Large amounts of money had been disappearing from the accounts. At first, it looked like careless bookkeeping, but as he dug deeper, the pattern became clear. Someone was stealing from the business. One evening, as Benjamin worked late, he overheard Kunle arguing on the phone. "I told you, the auditor is getting too close. If he finds out, we're finished." Benjamin's heart pounded. So it was true. The next day, Kunle confronted him. "Benjamin," he said with a forced smile, "you're new here. Maybe you don't understand how things work. Sometimes numbers don't need to be too accurate." Benjamin looked him straight in the eye. "Numbers are the only thing that must always be accurate." Kunle's smile disappeared. Conflict of the heart. That evening, Benjamin told Jumoke the truth. "Your cousin Kunle is involved in the missing funds," he said quietly. "If I report this, he could lose everything, maybe even go to prison." Jumoke's face fell. "Kunle may not be perfect, but he's family. Mama Bisi trusts him." Benjamin sighed. "I have a duty, but I also care about you. I don't want to hurt your family." Jumoke looked at him with tears in her eyes. "Do what is right, Benjamin, even if it hurts. That is the kind of man I believe in." The betrayal. Before Benjamin could present his report, disaster struck. The accounts office was broken into, files were scattered everywhere, and the main ledger had disappeared. Kunle pointed a finger immediately. "It must be the auditor," he shouted. "He came from nowhere. Now the books are gone." Mama Bisi, heartbroken and confused, turned to Benjamin. "Is this true?" Benjamin stood silently, hurt by the accusation. Jumoke stepped forward. "No, Auntie, Benjamin would never do that." But the suspicion lingered. Truth revealed. 2 days later, the police arrived at the Eatery. They had caught a young man trying to sell the stolen ledger at a motor park. Under questioning, he confessed. Kunle had paid him to steal the books. The truth came crashing down like thunder. Kunle was arrested, and the full extent of his theft was revealed. He had been siphoning money for months to fund a secret business deal. Mama BC wept, not just for the stolen money, but for the betrayal. She turned to Benjamin. You could have hidden this, but you chose honesty. Thank you. Victory at last week's. Later, the eatery was running smoothly again. With Benjamin's help, the accounts were reorganized and profits began to rise. One evening, after closing time, Jumoke found Benjamin sitting outside under a mango tree. You look peaceful, she said. I am, he replied, but something is still missing. Oh? She teased. Yes. He took her hand. You. Jumoke laughed softly. So the great auditor finally admits the truth? Benjamin smiled. Some numbers are impossible to calculate, like how much I love you. A few months later, the entire town gathered at Mama BC's Eatery for a celebration. Not just for the business's recovery, but for the engagement of Benjamin and Jumoke. As music filled the air, raised her glass to honesty, love, and second chances. And for Benjamin and Jumoke, it was truly a victory at last.